Fuego. Can you hear me?
Hey. Oh, that's great.
Wow, it's Finn Dervick. I haven't seen you in 30 years, man.
Hey, Frank, what's happening, man? Yes.
Frank, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Wow, fancy music.
I'm telling you what, this is fantastic. I got to be like the
Production
old
quality.
guys, like with the head, like, oh, can you hear me?
Great. This is going to be great.
Randy, why aren't you in the picture there? Although that sunscreen looks awesome.
Kind of warm up here a little bit with a little VIDAR sunscreen. All right. So I see a Dervick and a Fletcher and a Prosperi and a Purdue.
The boxes are filling in.
And Tom
There they are.
Winkler.
Oh, I got to get everybody. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, enough of that. Let's see here. More people waiting to. All right. So there's Curtis, Todd Schapler, Martin Shoup. I'll keep the music.
Wow.
Oh,
Who's that? Marty. George is, for some reason. George, you with us? I'm not sure he's on the list here. I don't know if he's in. Okay. Booty, you with us?
I am. Can you hear me all right?
Can't see you.
Can you guys hear me?
You don't have me on video yet?
No video yet, but
Let's see.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
I made it.
All right.
Are you in the office, Buddha? Are you still sitting in N98 right now?
I'm in my bunkered, cinder block bunkered basement, authorized by N98. Wow, you guys all look old.
You don't.
I resemble that remark.
All right, let's get rid of this thing here. Frank, you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me the truth. Did you give me this thing?
Did I give it to you? I don't think so.
No. The one that says, Brandy, I thought you might enjoy your own sunrise of beans. This appeared on my desk at VS 27 about 3 years later.
Need something to pop.
And I thought it was you.
I look at Mike Prosperity if I was you.
Look at the other box.
Yeah, Prego was the holder of the
God,
pen. By the way, when I came back on CAG staff on Eisenhower and we went to Fleet Week, some kid pulled some of those out of a void someplace, was trying to sell them on the flight deck.
Did he have better luck than us?
Yeah, really. Nobody was buying.
Seemed to be the case from the beginning.
Test,
Not
test.
if I love me walls out there.
Yeah.
okay. We're getting close to a quorum here.
Eh,
All right, so Abel and Aiken, not here yet. Arthur, not
Here,
yet. George,
yeah,
work? Was that
I'm
work?
here.
All
He's
right,
here.
welcome. Breeze,
Hey, guys.
Breeze, you with us?
Hey, Foster.
I don't see Breeze yet.
Yep.
No, Breeze. How about Pele?
No Pele.
Haley said he couldn't make it.
Yep.
No, actually, he said he's gonna come in late.
Yeah.
He texted me, he said he's probably gonna try and join late. How about Noid?
Noise aware. I'm not sure if he'll make it or not. He's got COVID.
Oh, well, not good. Okay, I guess that was Marty, right?
Yep.
Check you off. How about Flatliner? You with us? Ben is here. Ellsberg, Mike Ellsberg. John Fox. This is why we had a 15-minute warm start. This is kind of, we can see this coming. Huh? Yeah, see Kurt Garland, I saw you, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Dan Greco. He's probably going to phone
I
in
think
late.
Yeah, I think he'd come in.
Yeah. How about Hojan?
Yeah.
Is Hojan late? Is his watch not accurate?
oh, man.
He's playing Sweden chess.
Holy shit. How about John Kaiser? Kaiser? No Kaiser. Lex. Tracy Mann. Yeah, this is why we do a warm start. How about Bill May?
Bill may be going fishing tonight. He was not sure he'd be able to make it.
All right. Spot out there. Spot said he'd be on.
Hey, Glenn, you can just pull up the participant list and actually see everybody.
Yeah.
Nah, that'd be too easy. Come on.
Use that technology.
Hey, you know what? Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got to admit everybody. Keep forgetting that. Okay, so there's.
Tracy Mann's connecting.
All right. Yeah, I guess this is a whole lot easier. Isn't
And before we get too far into this, I'd like to say you all look old.
it? As we already said.
Yeah, somebody already beat you to that, Todd.
That's right.
The only mature one in this group already said that.
I'm probably feeling old too.
Let's see. Mike and Susie. The Warners are here. Cool.
Hey,
They're not long.
Yeah,
what's happening?
I thought that Don said that he's not going to be able to come in, and same for Dan, I thought.
Yeah.
Don Aiken said he can't make it. Dan texted me later and said he's going to try and call in later. Here comes Hojan and Steck. They're coming. How about just admit? Oh, I can do that. All right, looks like we have a pretty good showing here. There was like 35 names on the invitation list that had emails, of which only about 27 or 28 actually communicated with me. So we'll see. But those emails were all good. Okay, so Richie.
Anham.
So,
In the house.
Oh, look at that. You got your
dug out the
t-shirt on.
t-shirt too. Awesome.
Yeah, good work.
Todd, you're back with the keeps changing. I'm seeing a bunch of cool pictures. Who's that? Who's that? You can't tell. Don't know. All right, you guys. Jake, you with us? Warmer.
I am still working this though.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm seeing basically seeing nothing.
Woman.
Breeze.
Breeze.
Like, hey.
All right.
Is anybody hearing me?
Warmer.
Oh, I got it.
Tracy.
Hey, I brought something along for y'all to see for your viewing pleasure. Yeah. Nice.
We might see a few of them.
Hey, I also brought this shirt on.
There we go.
There you
I love
go.
the smell of jet fuel. What's up there, Mr. Kirk?
I got mine.
Oh, yours looks a lot better than mine.
I thought we started fires with the last of them.
Apparently not
Still
enough.
got one buried in a box someplace.
Oh, God.
Well, I do have a C story on that, on the bonfire thing. When I recycled back to VS22 as the Fresh Caught XO, Beans had just left, and I met with the wardroom.
That's the first reference.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
That's a
beer.
fine.
Is that a beer? Fine.
Yeah. Don't let it happen again.
Everybody, the body language in the wardroom was just awful. So I shut the door and I said, okay, what's going on here? What's your issues? And they were all complaining, all the JOs were complaining about the buy-in to the mess, which was caused by those infamous visors and how it was so high. So I offered up an option to them. I said, well, why don't you just forgive it and we'll get a standard buy-in for people coming in and we'll do something else with the visors. What do you want to do with them? And to a man, they all said, we're all men at the time, by the way. They all said, let's burn them up. Let's have a big bonfire. So I thought about it for a second and I said, well, you could do that. And I'm sure it would make a lot of you feel better. But given the way the squadron's been going, would you consider donating them to your enlisted mess?
Oh, yeah.
And then any that they sell would just go to the enlisted MWR, so to speak, to pay for things like baby car seats and that sort of thing. And then so the bonfire idea went away and they turned them over to the enlisted mess and the kids sold them and used them for good MWR purposes. So that's what we did with the visors.
Wow.
And that was Buddha the Retread coming back to VS22.
Awesome.
Y'all remember when he took us into the wardroom and he says, okay, guys, I'm taking over Skipper and I can't be in debt to the mess. And I floated a loan for like $4,500 and y'all each owe me X number of dollars. And you get
$7 grand.
visors.
Wow.
$7 grand.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
What are you doing?
I also remember
Yeah,
Finn Derbick saying,
Walmart.
hey, nobody uses visors in New York.
Right.
Did it come down? When it come down, buy it for your favorite cabbie.
Hey, Fletcher, looking good.
Thanks.
Fletcher, I was at Florida State. I went to the game with Notre Dame that we should have won, and we
Oh,
were walking
man.
by, and they had their circus tent up, because they still have the circus
Yeah.
there. And the young lady I'm dating, I told her, I said, yeah. I said, Ray used to get pissed off because I always told the girls that, hey, he was the human cannonball.
I got the brain injuries, but not the cannonball.
You
Okay,
didn't try
guys,
it,
hey,
did you?
let me cut in here real quick, okay? Because this thing's going to go on forever, and it's 9 o'clock, so I do want to kind of start this off. People are going to continue to come in, and we want plenty of time for everybody to speak and all the banter and bullshit all night long. But we kind of need to get going because we may get 30 some odd people on this call. So. Yeah, I think right now I just who did I see? I saw Sherlock just checked in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my camera.
Mike,
Hey,
Mike's
guys.
our token black shoe.
Well, no shit, we didn't want to see your face anyway. So.
Hey,
Hey, Clay, can you give me permission to
Jeez.
record it locally if you can, please?
I'm recording y'all. of it.
Oh, but can you
Mr.
give
Beyond-
permission so we can record it locally, though? We can record it on ours.
No,
Do I-
John, you cannot have that.
Do I have to push the button to be able to let you do that?
Yeah. You
Oh,
have
I
to
did.
allow them.
It's all built up there, man. Yeah.
Private
I'll
time only.
Oh, John, what time is it?
Name, unmute, start video. I don't know how to do that.
Over here.
I tell you what, we are somewhat ugly guys now.
I'm just amazed that.
Is anybody reading me?
Except for Ray. Ray looks, he looks dapper, man.
Texas still looks awesome. There's spots. Spike, you look awesome, dude.
TV.
I know, right?
Too. Hey, that's Bill
Kevin
Clinton,
plus
isn't it?
9, man.
Yeah, Bill
I'm
Clinton.
writing that on the schedule.
Who invited Bill to this thing?
Oh, man.
You know, it's funny
Short
when-
Fox. Great seeing you, buddy.
It's recording now, it says.
Yeah.
That's
I
black.
think Mike Sherlock's looking the best, man.
No doubt about it.
Fresh and
Yeah,
honest.
honestly, I'm trying to get this camera to work, and it's not working. This is my wife's
Lex,
There he is.
your son is running your Zoom.
No excuses, Locke. Stop making excuses. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So for real, I want to get this thing started because I want to give everybody at least 5 minutes or so to just kind of shoot the shit.
Oh, okay.
Tell us your stories.
They can't hear me.
It's gonna be.
I can hear you, Tom.
I hear you, Tom.
I hear you, Tom.
Oh, well, thank God. Somebody can hear me.
Look, you say the wife don't listen to you.
Yeah, that's true. She does.
Oh, there she is. I see her passing behind you there.
There you
Just
go.
as beautiful as ever.
Oh, thank you.
Hey.
Thank y'all
You know-
for putting
you
this
know-
together.
Yeah. You know, Glenn, when you brought this up, man, everybody's little Rolodex in their mind starts thinking about all the stories and everything, you know.
Kind of the idea. That's the plan.
We never told any stories.
We never did anything to make stories.
But
First
y'all
thing I
got
thought
to get
about
going.
was that Fleet Week when y'all were giving me shit when I was the admin queen about the Kevlar cake.
Jeez.
Okay, guys. For real. Let's get this thing started. Okay, you hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad all you guys are here and whatnot. And a couple admin notes. A few people wanted to go earlier than later. Nobody asked me to go later than earlier. So a couple of guys got moved up. But other than that, the list of when everybody speaks, it's just a guiding plan. That's all. If anybody wants to go later or earlier, just holler up. But, this is October 7th. It is the 32nd anniversary of the loss of 710, which seems amazing. 32 years ago. So I just want to devote the first few minutes to the memory of these guys, to Hayes, Gus, and Mongo. And I know you all had your friendships with those guys. You all have your memories. You all have your stories about those guys. And I'm sure we'll hear some of them as the night goes on. But just to kick this thing off, to kind of set the tone, at least initially, I just want to share a couple of really short stories about these three guys. Just nothing much. Just to kind of get the mind going here a little bit. But anyway, I showed up in the squadron in January of 88. And for the next several months, a bunch of NFOs showed up, Finn and Frank, Diego and Hojon, and a few other guys before we went on cruise. But it was a while before we got a new pilot. And so I was always the junior guy, which always kind of sucks. So when Hayes showed up in the squadron later that summer, just before cruise, I was elated that somebody was junior to me. Anyway, during the course of cruise, he and I were, that first cruise anyway, my first cruise, we were kind of cruise buddies. We were pretty close. And a couple funny memories of him was one where we went into Alexandria, Egypt, and we went out into the desert near the pyramids, and we were riding camels out in the desert. And that was a heck of a lot of fun. And I just got this vision of Hayes like a cowboy with the strips on the back of a double hump camel going, yeehaw, just kind of a funny memory there. later in the cruise, real quick about him, one more thing about him was I had been the coffee mess officer, and Hayes learned a very quick story about inserting footage because I think Tim Downing was the guy that was probably going to be the next coffee mess officer. So a couple of guys were nominated, but somebody nominated Hayes and somebody seconded it. And then he goes, there goes two non-flyers, because he was a scheduled writer at the time.
Yeah.
And that was a big, and then all of a sudden, I think the vote was unanimous. And Hayes Gray became.
He got my vote.
He got mine too, because I was the coffee mess.
Yeah.
Because I was the junior pilot there forever. So that's just a short, quick story about Doug Gray. I hope to hear more about him later. Gus Hartman was actually in my AOCS class. So I knew him before I knew all of you guys. A couple of years ago. And in AOCS, he was kind of quiet, not unlike he was in the squadron, but he was a friend of mine. I knew him pretty well. But the funny thing about him was in AOCS, at the last week, you get a little candidate officer job. And that guy didn't know a lick of music. He didn't know an A minor from a C flat. And they made him in charge of the AOCS band. So I just remember him being all googly eyed. Go, what the hell am I supposed to do about that? Yeah. And for one other thing about him, in case you guys don't know, his call sign Gus. This actually happened just before I came to the squadron. But the reason he got the call sign Gus was because they were in a flight going somewhere, maybe Buddha or Jake or somebody might be able to fill in the holes on this story. But he was in the back seat and the canopy above him just blew. Literally just popped off the jet. And so when he came back, his famous quote was, it just blew. The same thing Gus Grissom said, the capsule blew. So that's why he got the name Gus. Lastly, Mongo, you guys are going to have to help me fill in the blanks on Mongo, because I really only have one memory of that guy. And that was right before we went on that at sea period. We had a hail and farewell, and I'm almost certain it was at Turcotte.
Yeah, Steve Turcotte.
And as I recall, Mongo was a big strapping dude, as I remember him.
Big.
He's a big guy.
Vaguely remember him. And the only memory I have of the guy, it's kind of sad, was that night Beans, who actually did something funny, kind of made Mongo his personal force protection, and treated him like an Amazon man. And I remember him saying, Mongo, sit, Mongo, stand, and just treating Mongo like he's like Tarzan or something to protect him. So sadly, that's the only memory I have of the guy.
Hey, Glenn.
Sir.
To fill in on Mongo, I think I probably have one of the best recollections of that, just because of the fact that we went through flight school together.
Yeah.
Then we went through VS-41 together. Now, the funny thing is, when we finished up at flight school and everything like that, you remember that how each platform used to come about once a month and said, hey, here's what we do, here's what we do, here's why we're cool. When the EP3 guys came into VT86, they all sat there and said, hey, our airplane sucks, we're not very cool, but I get more pussy in more different foreign ports. And Dave or Mongo, he raised his hand and he said, that's all I'm concerned with. That's what he wanted.
That's it.
But then Captain Kime didn't like him and actually said, no, you're going to go VIDARs. You're going to go S3s. And so he ended up going to 41 with me. And if you remember, for NFOs at the very end, you're supposed to go through 3 successful weapon systems trainers. I did 8 of them because Mongo kept failing them. The guy was dumber than a rock when it came to, and I'm not poking fun at him, when it came to tactics and everything. But when it came to the molecular, biological, whatever of his body, the guy was phenomenal. I mean, he knew everything about biology and how to do that. And great guy. But yeah, it was our 6th day on the boat when he was gone.
Let me just finish up here real quick with this intro, if you don't mind, just so we can get going. Just a couple more things, and then I don't have much more to say. So we all remember that that day we were sitting in the ready room, and then as I remember it, you all have your memories of it, maybe the same or different in mine, but as I remember it, we're in the ready room, and all of a sudden I hear some racket outside the door, and then Senior Chief Swinmer bursts in and said 710's in the water. And then all of a sudden, kind of the drama started. And I remember clearly listening, we had the plat camera on with the audio, if you guys remember, so we could hear the whole search and rescue right there from the ready room. And after, 10, 15, 20 minutes, finally the call came into the ready room, and Tom Lee took the call. He hung up the phone. We all remember that gut punch when he turned to us and he said, Petty Officer Mann was the only survivor. That's how I remember it. And I'm pretty sure that's how that went down. So anyway, that's just what I just wanted to get this out about those guys. And like I said, you guys can share your stories with them because we've got all night to do that. But Petty Officer Mann being the only survivor is kind of my segue into what is more or less our guest of honor tonight, Petty Officer U.S. Navy retired Tracy Mann, who's with us. And just going to share a few thoughts about that day, the plane or whatever. I have no idea what he's going to say, but it's basically an eyewitness account. And so Tracy, you with us?
Yeah, I saw he's got to unmute himself, then he'll be up.
Tracy, man. Sure. Okay, we just lost Ray, unfortunately.
Oh, Ray's still with us. He's just on mute.
Okay. Oh, is that what it is? All right.
Lower
Tracy.
left-hand corner, Tracy.
How about now?
Yeah,
we
got
it.
a lot of
There you are.
faces, guys. A lot of faces. Unbelievable. It's great to see all you guys again.
Good to see you, Tracy.
See you, man.
Of course, sir.
Oh, my God. Glenn, thanks for having me show up with this. It's a day that I remember every year, and probably every day. Talk about the guys that were with me that day. Dave Jennings, brand new in the squadron. We really didn't know much about him as far as the aircrew shop went. But when we heard his call sign was Mongo, we got it. We understood why he got it. So there was something strange going on in the airplane when we got in there because we were just a turning spare that day. And he would like reach up and grab a switch and then look over at me. And I'm kind of looking at him like, what are you looking at me for? You know, turns out Chief Burry had been messing with him during the CQ session saying, you don't move a switch until you check with me, sir. So somehow he bought into that. And so he was looking at me and I was like, what are you doing? You can turn it on, just crank up the computer. And then he kind of got the idea that he'd been duped and he just started flipping switches, got everything going. Well, like I said, we were turning spare that day and that's all I knew from Mongo is that was my first time flying with him, the brief and all that stuff. And he seemed like a real nice guy. But I heard the story that one of you guys were talking about him going after the lazies. And I do remember hearing from the SDO before I went home on convalescent leave and said, my God, I think 4 women called in and said that they were his fiance.
They did.
Yeah. I was like, wow, so, okay. So, John Hartman, I went through 41 the same time he did. And there's probably some perspectives about this incident that you guys never heard because being the enlisted guy and all that stuff. We had a rapport with the AWs of the Dusty Dogs. Usually between the S3 guys and the Helo guys, it's a nod in the hallway or what's up, But we were actually pretty close to those guys. They knew us by name and we knew them by name. And the swimmer that went after John Hartman's remains didn't last very long after that. He went to what he encountered was pretty horrific. And he actually got drummed out of the Navy for PTSD and got into drugs because he couldn't handle what he witnessed. But he was a very brave kid that day. He actually went after John to recover him. His parachute was completely underneath him. I got this straight from the horse's mouth, the AWs that were the SAR swimmers that day. This parachute was like a huge sea anchor underneath him, and he got tangled up in the shrouds with John. He freaked out, cut himself free from the body, and swam to the surface, and got his breath. About 20 feet down is where he was. Got his breath and went down to get him again. And this time he tried to grab him by the SV2 and pull him up, and the SV2 finally gave way. And the SV2 went swinging for the surface. And the last thing he said he saw was his hand go up and his wedding ring flash, and he was gone. Doug Gray actually became, I don't know if you guys knew this, he and I actually become pretty good friends. And seeing Ho Hum there, we had actually spent time, we had dinner together and stuff like that. He used to give me grief about the first car I ever bought. It was a Somerset 4-door, red Buick Skylark. And he said, Jesus, what are you doing with that car? You look like an insurance salesman. And he says, you're a young 25-year-old naval aviator. You need to get a sports car. So I ended up getting a sports car. 2 weeks before the accident happened, I got a Mitsubishi Eclipse turbo. And I remember him looking at it and said, that's more like it. So, but like I said, that day we were turning spare. We were all kind of bent because we wanted to fly that day. And we were sitting on the finger. I mean, that's where we started. And we were waiting. Then we heard that the tanker up top that actually launched, the Go tanker, lost its package. It was sour. And we're like, yes, all four of us were screaming, let's go. So we taxied all the way forward, went to Cat 1, and I guess everything went normal. And the cat shot was good. And I remember feeling it was a pretty aggressive clearing turn because I always watch cross cockpit as a pilot in the wings myself. I always look cross cockpit so I could see the COTAX instruments. And we got to 45 degrees angle of the bank, and I thought, wow, this is an aggressive clearing turn, because I knew the parameters for a clearing turn. And that's when Doug started to scream in a calm voice that went into a scream. Oh my God, eject, eject, eject. So at that point, I heard the 3 ejects, and I was like, I'm out of here. So I started to reach for my handle. Before I can get to it, somebody up front, just to this day, we don't know who pulled it. Somebody pulled the handle and got us out. So I woke up under the water about 20 feet under the surface. It was completely clear. And when I came to the surface, my first words out of my mouth were, holy shit, I'm in the water. And then the Kennedy was streaming right in front of me. So sea swells were pretty big that day. I mean, from my perspective, the entire ship would disappear at the bottom of the swell. So my raft had separated from me, the lanyard had snapped, and I tried to swim to it, but I couldn't. But the helos came right on top of me. I made white water by splashing over my head, and I just gave him a thumbs up. Now, AJ Lapkovich was the guy in that helo that they came off of me and went to try to recover the other guys. AJ Lapkovich went in and got Doug Gray out of the water first. The other helo was launched to try to get Hartman and Jennings. Now, they had Doug in the helo before me. I didn't know that. And AJ had later told me, he said, yeah, they pulled me in and moved my body in to where they put my head on Doug's shoulder so I couldn't see him. So I didn't know that at the time. I was bleeding pretty bad from my kidneys. I was pissing blood everywhere. I didn't even know it. So that's why I was pulled off the boat 3 days later. So they thought they were going to have to remove my kidney. Turned out I'd actually fractured my 5th vertebrae as well, but we didn't find that out till 2 years later, because I wasn't whining or bitching about it, because I did not want to get taken out of the jet. So I would just go in, and my dad, being retired Army, said, son, you got to go in and at least tell them something's wrong. So I finally, after about 2 years, back still bother me. I said, and they finally said, but they rolled me over at 45 degrees and took another picture. And the doctor said, son, you broke your back. And that's when I was surprised when I had all those problems. But I never told anybody because I didn't want to lose young. Did
we lose him?
That's pretty much my mission to those days. The AJ, who actually was the guy that pulled me out of the water.
Are you guys hearing him?
We lost Tracy.
Lost him. We had an audio for a while.
He's just
I think
in and out.
he's on a dial-up or something. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Can you hear me? I was
Yeah,
talking about
Tracy.
AJ, the guy that pulled me out of the water. He retired. He became a police officer.
Well,
Can you hear
cool.
me? There's frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen. You're freezing up on us, Tracy, a little bit, but
Yeah, maybe turn your video off and just leave your, it might help.
Tracy, you with us, brother? Okay, I tell you what. Well, I'm sure we'll get him back. I hope. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. According to my thing here, he's online, but we're obviously not seeing him or hearing him at all. But anyway, that was quite a story, and it's quite a story. So that's what this day is all about. One more business item before we get to everything. I do hope you guys got your vessels charged. You guys got your vessels charged, ready to go? This is a 1 minute warning because we're going to propose a toast. Maybe Tracy will come back. Give him another minute. I hate for him to miss this.
I'm gonna get a beverage.
He said, we're waiting. I'll tell you a little funny story about Dave Jennings. He's right. He was a woman's man. He used to tell me all the time that I say, Dave, man, you go out with all these women the same day. He says, hey, look, you get a nut and you go. That's our whole purpose on earth, is to seed the population. And then after he died, and I went with the body up to Akron, prior to going, Roy D, I think, had already went and took over ops, and I was running admin. And I was getting all these phone calls from these women claiming to be his fiance. And I had three of them, I think, maybe four, but I know three for sure. And I was like, I didn't know what to do because they all wanted to go to a funeral. And that's the last thing I needed was a cat fight at a damn funeral. So I called Dave's parents and explained to them the situation and said it might be best that we just say it's just immediate family and they not show. And I told all the women that, and none of them show, but I was sweating bullets. They were going to show up there for the funeral. And I was going to fight on it.
That's pretty cool. Okay, I don't think Tracy's with us. Tracy, when you there, buddy?
We're recording.
He's there. I told him to go ahead and log off and then maybe try to log back on. I'm seeing him. He's still there. Tracy, you there?
I am here. Can you hear me now?
No,
good.
there you go.
I turned it. I'm sorry. I am in my crash pad in Miami, down here at the end of the runway here, and I just took it off the damn Wi-Fi here and put it on. What do you call it?
Cellular.
Cellular.
You're coming in loud and
cellular.
clear now, Tracy.
Well, Tracy,
Yeah.
we're gonna hoist the toast here to these guys. So everybody charged and ready to go.
He was on the
Before we do it,
I'm ready.
Tracy, thanks. That was really nice of you to kind of share your thoughts on all of that. And so I do want to raise this toast. So if you guys are ready to go here, I got it written down because I'm going to forget it and I hope I don't tear up here. To our three fallen shipmates on this, the 32nd anniversary of the day when for the last time they slipped the surly bonds of earth. They were our brothers in arms who gave their lives in the service of our nation and to our Navy and were taken from us way too soon. To Hayes, Gus, and Go, may your spirits continue to soar for all time. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Never be forgotten.
All right. Well,
Hey, Glenn, can I say something real quick?
yeah.
I just want to let you guys know, after, I think it was the 30th year anniversary, my family and I went on vacation to Washington, D.C. And I was actually my first chance to go up and see Doug's grave. And I just want to let you know, it was a humble and brought back a lot of memories and stuff to go to that place and see that.
Sure, it
So
is.
I don't know if anybody else has been there, but it's
Yeah.
he's in a great place.
Where is it, Tracy?
When you go in, it's actually towards. Trying to get my bearings here.
It's in Arlington. It's in Arlington.
Yeah.
Arlington, yeah.
Arlington.
Oh, I thought you meant specifically in Arlington. So, yeah, it's in Arlington, and you just go in and start heading toward the Pentagon. And he's in that direction. And you can find them on a map too. They have, a map and everything. So I was able to find it.
I remember you posted a picture of the site.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'll just say one thing, guys. I've been to the grave site a number of times. And unfortunately, about within 100 yards is my best friend from college, who was an Air Force A-10 pilot. So within about 100 yards of each other, both of their graves. So I get a chance to visit both of them at the same time. It's moving. And if you haven't been there, I encourage you to go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Okay, it looks like Abel and Aiken are not here. Want to kick this thing off?
All right, hey guys. First of all, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I can.
George, yes.
First of all, greetings from Crabtown. I'm here for my 35th reunion at the boat school, which makes all of us seem kind of old. I'm going to show you a little picture of the boat show that happens to be going on right now. So that's like, I'm on the balcony of my hotel room, like just scoping it all out right now. Glenn, hats off to you, buddy. Like, it's not easy to corral all the cats in one spot at one time. So I appreciate your efforts and, just getting everybody together. And, we were always, all of us, so tight. And it's funny how everybody drifts off and does their own thing. But it's really cool to have everybody like virtually in the same spot at one time. And I'll tell you that it got me to thinking, and like, if there's any way for us to pull it off, it'd be so cool to do like an in-person reunion sometime. I think that, like, at least I would totally love that and would be there anywhere, anytime to do it.
Sounds like a great idea.
We did one of those a few years ago.
Okay, guys, I got that project for action. Next year, no COVID, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah, let's pick some place cool like Pensacola, where we can all go and just, like, I don't know, or come to my place in Coronado. I don't know, whatever.
I think I'm in for Coronado.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to hear from you. Anything else, George?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the format? I'll give you like a super quickie.
Whatever you want to say. But if you hog till the floor, you're going to get booed if you talk too long.
Yeah. He's got time yet.
No, I used to get booed a lot when I was debriefing your landings. So, like, why would this be any different?
Blind pig fuckers.
Yeah, I've heard it all. Okay, so what happened? VS 22, then VS 27. I crossed paths with a bunch of you guys in all those, the following places. And then from VS 27, I went to Monterey. From Monterey, I went to North Island, and I went to VS 29 and did a department head tour. Then I went to VS 41, and I was an OPSO there. Then I went to United Airlines. Then I went after 9/11. Of course, me and everybody else got furloughed. And I went back in the Navy and served at what was then called SPAWAR. And I finished out my Navy career as a reservist, bouncing around between ComNav Air Forces and SPAWAR reserve units, and retired finally in 2009. But I got involved in the whole acquisition world via that SPAWAR gig. And I started a company 10 years ago, and I'm the CEO of that company now. And that kind of keeps me busy. And I also fly part-time for United. So, yeah, those of you that remember my family way back in the VS 22 days, my kids are all grown up. They're adults, and Mary Jo and I went our separate ways a number of years ago, and then I got remarried to a wonderful lady who 5 years later passed away. And then sometime after that, I got married again, which I'm I have a wonderful wife now, Shyama, who lives with me in Coronado, and yeah, we just do our thing. Life's good. You know, it's kind of amazing to me how fast all this time has gone by and how many things can happen to you, to people, right? So it's just cool that, like, those of us that are still here are still here, and we share all these common memories together and stuff. And I mean, I could go on and on about all the memories that I have of flying with you guys and doing stuff and Liberty calls. And I mean, I got all sorts of things that I could say, but I don't want to take up too much time. Oh, Mike Sherlock, I was in McGarvey's last night, and I thought about you because we were there one time. I met your sponsor. Anyway, there's all sorts of stuff, but I'm going to pass it on to the next guy.
Well done.
What's your business?
It's engineering services. I've got 20 engineers that are, all of them are 10 times smarter than I am. And we do cybersecurity engineering, network engineering, systems engineering, lots of good stuff for Nav Air and what used to be called SPAWAR, but now it's called NavWar, out in San Diego. So yeah, those guys are like kicking ass and taking names and doing a good job for the taxpayer. And my job is just to make their lives great. It's a pretty good symbiotic relationship.
You might get more resumes tonight.
Well, I'll take them. I love you guys. Like, send them, bring it on.
All right.
We're growing. We're growing, so I need some good talent.
Yeah, I know 30 guys tonight that might be interested. Well done, sir. All right, Winks wanted to be moved up here a little bit because he's going to have to leave us early. Tom Winkler. Wink, you with us?
On mute.
Tom?
There we go.
Gotcha. You happy?
We hear you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Hey, if you notice, my voice is all fucked up.
You sound great.
That's due to many years of multiple sclerosis now. So that's my main thing right now, unfortunately. So I've been medically disabled for probably about 15 years now. Before that, I was right out of the Navy. I was a aviation insurance underwriter for a while, so that was kind of interesting. We used to do everything from small aircraft all the way up to corporate fleets and corporate aircraft, and that was kind of interesting. And then they closed up that shop, so I ended up going into the personal finance business and ended up moving back to Pensacola, where I am today. And so I've been doing that for a while. And then about 15 years ago, got stuck with this MS thing. So I've been on the DL list for about that long. And just sitting here with my lovely bride that you all knew from way back when. Remember, Beans Brower used to hit on her all the time.
That was the only smart thing he ever did.
Beans always had excellent taste.
So this is like 5 references to that "he who shall not be mentioned."
No, it's okay.
Now it's okay. Yeah. That's just the initial intro.
Shouldn't do that.
Wow. There we go.
You guys are
Thank you,
not
Ward.
following the ROE. Randy, you lost control of the group. You got to follow the ROE.
So she takes good care of me here, and got a wonderful daughter named Liberty, of all things.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great patriotic name. And let's see, what else did I have written down here? Oh, also a strange story here. is I've got a 2-star admiral at my beck and call. I know him through my church. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's Don Quinn.
Yep, DQ. I think everybody here knows him.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
Yes.
And I know him through church, and he helps us out quite a bit here at the house. And it's nice to have a 2-star running around the house doing chores for me. So I guess that's about all I have, but I'm just glad to be here. Glad to see all you guys. And it's nice just to listen to the stories.
God bless you.
Good to see you, Tom.
Yeah, cheers.
Good to hear you, man. Good to see you.
Take care. I'll be hanging in for a while.
All right, man.
Cheers.
All right, Breeze.
Who? That me?
Breeze.
Breeze. All right, man.
Oh, sure.
I gotta.
I was trying to remember your
You
name.
disabled it.
All right.
I was gonna share something. Did you ever do that or no?
Do what?
I was gonna share
Oh.
got-
Oh, shit. Okay, hold on a second. So what do I got to do?
You've got to go ahead and allow screen sharing at the bottom, Brandy.
There's
Just at the bottom middle to share screen.
opportunity. Okay, you got it. You got it.
Okay. Let's see here.
Here you go. We see you.
Okay. Seeing that?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
There he is right there. You had hair then, like all of us.
Yeah, this is I put this up because there's the man
Yeah.
Yeah.
right back here and a bunch of us, way back in the day.
Stan Greenwald.
Yeah, Stan Greenwald in the front there.
That right there, Shep.
Oh, yeah.
Eat these.
That right there is
That Lex,
Who's the guy in the way?
It's Lex.
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 Yeah. Bunch of it. All right. But I got that. And
There's a cool Breeze picture right there, profile kind of.
mhm.
Yeah.
Looks like
Yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr.
I was trying to dig him up. Then I got another one.
That's a good one.
That's Richie.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't.
I've sent
Yeah.
one before.
That's a
I haven't
great
sent
pick.
that one, have I?
That's Richie. That's Jeff.
Yeah, is that at the air show, Breeze?
That's at Hanscom Air Force Base Air Show. Yep.
Okay.
So that was it. That was
The guy that told us that we were flying an A6. Doug and I looked at each other and said, it's an S3, sir. And he said, no, it isn't. I went, okay.
But yeah, no, I think about you guys all the time. I actually have, don't hit me. I didn't make this presentation for you, but I added to it. I actually use this, but it'll help me keep the notes. Because I give this to my, to my students. But after 22, I was, flight instructor in Pensacola with the wing and 86 and 10, and then got out, stayed in the reserves, and went on. My civilian side was in healthcare, medical device sales. So I worked for about 20 years, mostly for Johnson & Johnson, and then also for SI Bone. So with like Tracy and your disc or vertebrae that got snapped, used to, do that kind of stuff near the end. But really, really cool career, did that and stayed reserves mostly in the TSC units, and retired in 2008. So I did most of it in Jacks. So ran into a number of you over the years there. And, that was always cool. So, so I finally kind of retired except Sue wouldn't let me. Wouldn't let me quit. And so I'm now, went to do something, the most noblest thing I've done is be this teacher, in high school or instructor for junior ROTC. So been doing that for 3 years. Dean's been helping me and Shapler, kind of get going, because it's pretty good, but it's been pretty cool, ride. So I'll be doing that, for a while. So that's been pretty good. Here's the family. I just put that up or left it in there. The kids, some of you I know have seen, they're all grown up now. The oldest is 29. Ali is in the middle of that picture. To the right is Bijan. He's the youngest at 24. And Majid's 27, on the left. So all those guys are, graduated from UT, and investment banker, for my youngest, he's up in New York, and Ali in the middle is a investigative journalist for Mother Jones. So he's like getting in everybody's shit, kind of in tech. He specializes in tech and misinformation and stuff like that. So, so that's pretty cool. And then Majid lives in Atlanta. And so Ali's in New York, and then Majid's in Atlanta. He's like a software, background, like software development, but he kind of stopped, and he's doing music stuff and videos, in combination with that, and doing real well with it. So these guys, last thing I'll say about them is they are cryptocurrency experts. They've been, they kind of started stuff in Texas, at University of Texas. Majid actually started the first cryptocurrency club way back in like 2012 or 13. So those guys are heavily involved in that and doing pretty well in it. And there's Sue, so we've been married. This is 32 years. We got married in February, of 89, when all this went down. So that's what we've been doing. For me, on the side, I'll bring this up for you guys of what I'm doing kind of as a hobby, which is not much, but I got into adventure motorcycle traveling. And this is a picture. This is in the Himalayas in India. Got to ride.
Cool.
I went over there 2 years ago and did this. It was about a 3-week trip. We're up in Kashmir, way up in there. And there it is, got to ride on the highest road in the world. This is the second highest one. And this is the highest one, a little over 18,000 feet technically.
Wow.
Oh, crap.
So trying to do that. COVID kind of put a rail in everything. So we'll get out. That's what I've been up to. Miss you guys.
That's pretty up there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool breeze.
Yeah. I'll get some more pictures because I won't be able to do them tonight, but I'll make sure I get you guys some about Arlington, and because I've been there too to see Doug and Jeff. Man, I can't. What's your buddy's name? The A10 guy, because I saw it about 20 years ago. Him.
Brad Burrows.
Brad Burrows.
Yep.
Yeah, I got some really good shots off in the distance that I'll send you guys. I didn't think about getting those.
Put them on the group chat on Messenger.
Okay.
Everybody, well, most everybody can see them, but pretty much everybody here is on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that.
All right.
All right. Is that it?
All right. That's it.
Well done, sir. Well done.